Okay, so probably by the thumbnail you know what we're going to be talking about today, but Capcom's biggest regret, it seems, is starting to show itself again. And I think this is something that people have kind of known about for a while. It was a big thing when Village came out. It was still a big thing across Village's kind of life, I guess, if you want to call it that. And it's now showing itself again with the Resident Evil 9 kind of current marketing and obviously the pre-orders as well. And it's interesting. It's very interesting, and people have their own opinions on it, and I'm going to talk about it. So let's go back to pre-Village release, the initial reveal of Resident Evil Village. They showed the game for the first time, first trailer, and you get your first look at Dimitrescu, the character, and everyone on the internet loses their minds, completely loses their minds, albeit in a very strange way. But the character got a lot of attention, he got a lot of eyes on the game, and they even made a tweet about it, saying, thank you for the reception to the character. It's not something they expected to get that much eyes on. And part of me feels like even now they knew what they were doing with how they were promoting Village, but at the same time, what they were doing at the same time with how they were promoting Village was such a, I don't want to say false advertising, but at the same time, maybe. I don't know. So anyway, this continues on for a few more trailers before launch. Again, she's pretty prominent in every trailer, and also is prominent in other aspects of the marketing as well. If you don't remember the maiden demo, Resident Evil Village, which was like a kind of like the Resident Evil 7 beginning hour demo, where you played as somebody else completely. It was more of a tech showcase than anything else. Showed what the game looked like and stuff like that. And she was prominent in that demo as well. She was kind of like the thing in the demo at the end. And yeah, they were really going in with having her be in the trailers and in the demo and all that kind of stuff. And then the game came out. The game came out, people played it, and I think even now Village is kind of highly regarded as a good game. It is definitely a successor to 4. It's very similar to 4 in a lot of ways, but the game is good. Whether you liked the characters of the 7 and 8 storylines, or Ethan and stuff like that, is up for debate. I think his character was fine, and they closed it out quite well with this game. But with Dimitrescu, she was in the game for a total of maybe 1 to 2 hours. The game, on an initial playthrough of these games, if you go and explore every corner of the game and have a look, I think mine came in about 12 hours. So you take that into account, and she's not in the game at all, really. Granted, I think a lot of people noticed that, and were kind of upset that they kind of marketed this big character that everyone loved as being such a big part of the game, and she's dead within the first 2 hours, and that is it. They did kind of bring her back in the DLC, kind of, with her being playable in Mercenaries, but it's not really the same thing. So yeah, I think a lot of people kind of thought the game false marketed because, it made the game seem like it was going to be in this castle a lot, and that she was going to be in the game for a long time, which just isn't the case. Here's the thing, I like the castle section of Village. I think it's probably the best part of the game, by a long shot. I think it's definitely a good part of the game. But she's not the best character in the game, at all. If you're going to really look at the villains of Village and say who's the best, it's Heisenberg. He clears all of them. He's a better character. He's got more, not presence. I think the presence of these characters is going to shade equally, apart from maybe Moreau. But he is more interesting. He's got more kind of going on with him in this game than pretty much any of the 4 Lords and Miranda. He has 2 sections essentially tied to him. He's in, well, let's be honest, maybe 3. He's in the beginning, very early on. He makes you go to the Stronghold, and then you obviously do his whole factory sequence, which again, I quite like. It's good. People are not really that huge fans of that one. I quite like that bit. I still think the weakest part is Moreau, because it's just kind of running in a straight line until you get to the boss fight. But he's a better character. He's more well done, I think. Yeah, so now with the kind of marketing and lead up to 9, they're also kind of trying to bring this character to the forefront as a marketing source. And this bugs me slightly, I'll get to that in a minute, but basically, if you don't know, one of the pre-order bonuses for 9 is a costume for Grace that is Dimitrescu's costume. It's what she wears in Village, which is fine. I mean, I'm not really a person that uses bonus costumes like until I've done like everything, and I'm just going through to mess around. That's just me. And I've also used the actress, which the name is completely just left my mind right now, but they've used the actress a lot to do their kind of marketing videos. Like, she was there at the Summer Games Fest talking about Resident Evil just before they revealed 9. She was recently doing the kind of Road to Requiem video they did, where they kind of went through like a big like story recap leading up to 9, and she was obviously part of that too. And obviously they announced a showcase in January, which I have no doubt she'll probably be presenting that as well. I think she also presented another one before 9. Maybe the one when they did the Village DLC, when they announced that. And maybe the 4 remake, I think she was part of those too. I could be wrong, but either way. I think the thing that bothers me with this is Resident Evil 9, outside of the visual marketing of it, has been kind of portrayed as a game that celebrates the series, right? It goes back to the roots, you know, we're in Raccoon City again. Leon's basically all but confirmed in the game due to leaks and PlayStation slipping up themselves recently. Umbrella's mentioned like a bunch of times in all the trailers and when they talk about the game. And you're gonna market the game with a character that was in one singular game and then died. Like, if it was me, and obviously I'm not Capcom, I don't work for Capcom, I don't know what they're thinking, but if I was trying to promote a game that was a big celebration of the franchise, I get like, you know, you get people that are more kind of tightly knitted to the games to do this stuff. You know, you get like the actress for maybe Grace to do it herself, or maybe Leon. I know that would kind of ruin the whole surprise that it's in the game, because everyone would just assume that that means it's in the game, or you know, any of those characters did it. Your pre-order marketing should have been skins of other older characters, not one that's in one singular game. I mean, at the end of the day, they're doing things that are going to sell. I mean, having her be a skin in the game, or costume in the game, whatever, that alone is probably going to sell the game. I'm not even taking the piss. I'm being genuinely serious. That is probably going to push sales more than you would think. I mean, I hate to say it. But how the kind of people responded to the initial character reveal of Dimitrescu was very, like, simpy. I hate to say it. And that stuff sells, like, everyone knows that. I mean, look at recent games that have come out where they're kind of, like, really digging into that kind of sexualized side of things. And I know Dimitrescu isn't directly done like that, but there's always people out there that will find a way to make it like that, and it it's funny, but at the same time it's kind of sad. But I think it genuinely just comes back to they didn't expect the character to have such a big impact on the success of Village. I think they probably kind of went, damn it, we should have maybe included them more, because now it looks like, you know, now when people play it, they're going to realise that we just kind of had this one section built for it, and that was it. I think that's something that's going to probably be something they regret for a long time, and I think they are trying to make up for it. Are they doing it in the right way? Maybe not, but at the end of the day, they can do what they want. It's their game to promote, it's their franchise to promote. I'm still going to buy Resident Evil 9 anyway, so what do I care? But yeah, it's an interesting thing that's been happening lately, and I just wanted to talk about it. But yeah, that's going to do it. Leave your thoughts on obviously the character and the whole situation down below. It's not really that big of a deal. Again, it's just one of those things you notice when you kind of pay attention to what's going on with the franchise, and it's interesting to talk about. But yeah, thank you for watching. Also, I mentioned, I don't know why, but this video and the previous one, the quality's been a bit weird. Everything else seems fine that I'm making, but these past two have just been really weird looking, but it'll be back to normal after this. So thank you for bearing with that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more Resident Evil content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.